Morning everybody. I've wanted to make this video for a long time. It's going to be about the JB4, not really how to install it. There's a lot of good videos out there for that, but mainly how to get the most out of it. People plug it in, install it, turn it on map 1 or map 2, and then never touch it. There's a lot more in the JB4 which you could be using. So let me open up my JB4 and start the screen recording. That's important. Okay, so one of the first things that not a lot of people know is you can use the intermittent speed adjustment on your wipers to adjust what map you're in, and you can do this on the fly. So for example, right now I'm in map 6, which I normally drive around in. If I go up once, that's map 0, map 8, map 2, map 3. And you can have any of those in there you want. You adjust this by going into the settings and then the water meth settings. Don't worry, you can't mess anything up in here. Meth anything up. That'll get edited out. So in this screen here where it says enabled at the top, your choices are 1 or 2. 1 means that when you turn the windshield wipers on, JB4 goes back to 0. So if you don't want the wipers on while the JB4 is active because it's raining, that's an option. Or enable 2, the wipers on JB4 will stay in whatever map it's in. And then you just put whatever maps in you want. So here I've got 6, 0, 8, 2, 3. And that corresponds to the positions on the wipers. And then, like I said, if you're driving along and you're in map 0 and somebody rolls up beside you and you think, maybe let's have a little go here, you just click it all the way up to map 3 or whatever your top map is, and away you go. Go, go, go! Let's talk about data logging. One of the biggest features of the JB4, let's look at the logging settings. So if you go into here, logging settings, JB4 has an auto log feature, which I don't have on all the time because I don't want to pull a log every day. But when I am doing some data logging, I'll turn this on, set it to 90%. So that means when I open the throttle 90%, it starts a log immediately. And then when I release the throttle for more than 1 second, it ends the log. So I don't get a 10-minute log. I just get a 30-second or 15-second bit of data, which is what I want. You can set it to whatever you want. Also for the manual guys, there's a clutch option in there as well, but it's a good way to get short logs. By the way, a good log to look at and send in to the forums, 3rd or 4th gear from about 2,000 RPM, wide open throttle to about redline, 6,000 RPM, and then stop the log there so that when you have guys reviewing your log, they don't have to look through 1,000 lines of data. It's just that segment that they're looking at. So send in short, wide open throttle logs, much easier to look at. Another good thing about the JB4, they're always working on new things. So they brought out a beta app about a year ago. I've been using it since day 1. It's fantastic. One of the good things about it is you can see the screen here. It allows you to customize it and have whatever gauges you want in whatever position you want and type of gauges. It also allows you to set colors. So for example, my water temp, when it gets to 90 degrees Celsius, turns yellow on the gauge. When it gets to 100 degrees Celsius, turns red on the gauge. So if I look down and see red water temp, I know the car's a bit hot. Same thing with intake air temps. You can have air fuel ratio turn a different color, boost. You can have whatever gauges in there you want. So the beta app is really great for that. Another thing the beta allows you to do is to set alarms. So I have a boost alarm, 2 temperature alarms, and a fuel alarm. If the value gets over a certain point, it comes up on the screen. So if I look down and see a boost alarm, I know there's something unusual because it's making more than 26 pounds of boost. And again, you can have as many alarms as you want and set them at whatever values you want. So if you're not using the beta version of the JB4 app, have a look at it. I'll put a link in the description below. Well, he'll put a link in the description below. Put the beta on your phone, much, much better. Now, I know a lot of you have looked at some of the advanced options and you're a little scared to change stuff. Just remember, you can't really screw it up because the JB4 has so many safeties built in that even if I put in a target of plus 50 PSI, as soon as it gets to the boost safety, which on mine is set at 25.5 pounds of boost, it'll go back to map 0. So even if you make a mistake, it can't really hurt anything. If you go into this page here, you can see there are some options you can play with. how much boost is pulled during the shifts, the default wastegate position. These are my settings. They work good for this car. This is a 1.6 turbo platform in the Cerato with an electronic wastegate, so a little bit different than the V6 Stinger guys and the 1.6 Hyundai guys who have a normal vacuum operated wastegate as opposed to electronic. So these are the options and the settings I use. They work great for this platform. Have a play with them. Like I said, you can't break anything. If you have any questions about these, obviously put a comment below and I will get back to you. So one of the questions I always get asked on the forums is, how do you tune map 6? And it's not rocket science, guys. It's pretty basic. What you really want to do is start at a relatively safe value. So I started at +3 PSI target all the way across the board, did a couple of data logs, and you would see the boost curve kind of go up and down like that. I'll put a screenshot in here. Well, the editor will put a screenshot in here. And what I wanted was a nice flat boost curve, because this car has a problem where the ECU will ask for more boost at certain RPM, and you'll feel the car surge and then die and then surge and then die, and it drove me crazy. So most of my map 6 tunes look a little bit like this, where down low I'm asking for, say on this map, 3 PSI, and then at 3,500 and 4,000 RPM, I've dialed it down a little bit because that's where I found the ECU dumps a whole lot of boost in there. And then in the upper RPM, I've turned it back up a little bit. So I've got that nice flat boost curve, and I'll show you a couple of those that I've taken screenshots of. And then the other nice thing you can do is you can have different map 6s, which you can load. So I have a 3 PSI, 4, 5, 6, and then a 6.5 PSI tune, which I can load in about 15 seconds and have however much boost I want. It's a really nice feature to have. Like I said, map 6, you can't really do anything wrong. Just don't put in a value of like 30 PSI. But like I said, even then the JB4 will just shut it down if it sees too much boost. Again, if you have any questions, comments, put it in the video below and I will get back to you.